Have you ever sent a text and immediately wondered, is that comma in the right spot? Or did I just commit a grammatical crime? If that tiny ping of doubt has ever hit you, then you, my friend, are exactly where you need to be. Welcome. I've been right there with you, staring at a sentence like it's a puzzle. But what if I told you that English grammar isn't a set of rigid rules designed to trap you, but a powerful, logical toolkit you can master to build stunningly clear and confident communication? That's what this journey is about. This is your Master English Grammar full course. I'm your guide, and together we are going to peel back the layers, starting from the very foundation and building up to the elegant complexities. We will make sense of it all. This isn't about dry textbooks. This is about the music of the language. That feeling when a sentence clicks perfectly into place. We're going to chase that feeling for every single topic. Let's start with a fundamental truth that changes everything. Grammar is not about being right to please some distant authority. It's about being understood. It's about making sure your brilliant ideas land in someone else's mind exactly as you intend them to. A misplaced modifier, a confused tense, these aren't just errors. They're tiny cracks in the bridge of understanding between you and your listener or reader. So take a deep breath. Forget the stress of past lessons. We are starting fresh. Our first pillar, our absolute bedrock, is the part of speech. You can't build a house without knowing your bricks, your wood, your glass. These are the building blocks of every single sentence you will ever craft. We have 8 of them: nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, pronouns, prepositions, conjunctions, and interjections. Every word you use wears one of these 8 hats. Think of a simple sentence. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Every word here has a job. Fox and dog are nouns, they are the things. Jumps is the verb, it's the action, the heartbeat of the sentence. Quick and brown describe the fox. They are adjectives. Lazy describes the dog. Another adjective. Over tells us where the jump happened. It's a preposition showing the relationship. The is a special kind of adjective we call an article. See? A whole world is already opening up. Now let's zoom in on the engine of every sentence. The verb. If nouns are the characters in your story, verbs are the plot. They are the action, the state of being, the thing that is happening. But here's a critical insight most people miss. Verbs don't just show action. They also tell us time. This is the magical, time-traveling power of tense. And tense is where many of us get tangled. Take the verb to walk. In its base form, it's just an idea. But watch. I walk. I walked. I will walk. I have walked. I had walked. I will have walked. With just a single change, we've traveled through past, present, and future, and even dipped into nuanced moments within those times. This is your first superpower in English, being able to place an action precisely on the timeline of your thought. But before we time travel, we must understand the verb itself. Every verb has 5 principal forms, and knowing these is like knowing the secret code. Let's use to jump. First, the base form, jump. We use this for the present tense for everything except he, she, it. Second, the third person singular present, jumps. He jumps, she jumps, it jumps. Third, the simple past, jumped. Yesterday I jumped. Fourth, the past participle, jumped. This is used with helpers like have, or had. I have jumped. Fifth, the present participle, jumping. This is used with to be to show ongoing action. I am jumping. Here's a pro tip that will save you endless confusion. The past and past participle are often the same for regular verbs. We just add ed. But English has its rebels. The irregular verbs. These are the ones that don't play by the ed rule. Go becomes went, past, and gone, past participle. See becomes saw and seen. Write becomes wrote and written. You must become familiar with these. Don't try to memorize a huge list all at once. We will integrate them naturally as we go. Let me give you a real-world data point. In everyday spoken English, the most common mistakes often involve these irregular verbs and their past participles. People say, I should have went, instead of the correct, I should have gone, or I seen it, instead of I saw it. Just by mastering these forms, your spoken grammar will leap ahead of the crowd. It's an instant upgrade. So, feel the power you now hold. You understand that a verb is not just a word. It's a flexible tool that conveys action and time. These different forms are your keys to clarity. With this foundation solid, we are ready to step into the arena of tenses themselves, where we will learn to wield time with precision. Let's talk about a tension point, literally. The place where even proficient speakers get tripped up, the difference between the past simple and the present perfect. This is the granddaddy of confusion. I'll demystify it right now. It all hinges on the relationship between an action and the present moment. The past simple is for a finished action in a finished time. It's locked in the past, in a compartment with a clear label. I finished the report last night. The time is specific and over, last night. She lived in Paris for 5 years. This implies she does not live there now. That chapter is closed. We use it with words like yesterday, last week, in 2010, when I was a child. Now, the present perfect. This is where the magic happens. Connects the past to the present. The formula is simple. Have slash has plus past participle. But its use is powerful. We use it for 3 main things. First, for experiences in our life up to now, where the specific time doesn't matter. I have visited Japan. It doesn't say when. It just states that at some point in my life, this experience happened. Second, for actions that started in the past and continue to now. I have lived in London for 10 years. This means I moved there 10 years ago and I still live there now. Third, for past actions with a visible result right now. I have lost my keys. The action happened in the past, but the current, present result is that I can't open my door. Here's the golden tip that will solve 90% of your dilemmas. Ask yourself, is there a clear, finished time in the past mentioned or strongly implied? If yes, use past simple. If the time is unfinished, like today, this week, in my life, or if the result is now, use present perfect. You cannot say, I have finished the report last night. Why? Because last night is a finished, specific time. It must be, I finished the report last night. Let's practice with a data point. Think about news headlines. They often use present perfect for breaking news because it emphasizes the current relevance. Scientists have discovered a new planet. The discovery happened recently, and the news is fresh and relevant now. The follow-up article might then use past simple. The team made the discovery using a novel telescope. See the shift? The first grabs you with present impact. The second narrates the specific past event. Mastering this distinction is a huge leap. It moves your English from merely correct to naturally nuanced. You're not just reporting events. You're framing their relationship to the here and now. And that is a skill of a true communicator. Ready for the next layer? Let's look at the continuous aspects, because sometimes actions aren't just points in time. They're scenes unfolding. Have you ever felt like an action was in full flow, right in the middle of happening? That's the essence we capture with the continuous tenses, also called the progressive aspects. While simple tenses give us a snapshot, a single point in time, the continuous tenses give us a movie scene. They show an action in progress, unfinished and often temporary. This is how we add life and movement to our sentences. The structure is consistent across time. A form of the verb, to be, plus the present participle, that ing form we talked about. Let's break it down. For the present, I am studying. You are watching. He is working. We are describing what is happening right at this moment or around the present time. I can't talk now. I am driving. This is happening as we speak. But the power extends into the past and future too. The past continuous. I was studying when you called. This sets the scene. It tells us what was already in progress when another action, the simple past called, interrupted it. The future continuous. At 8 p.m. tomorrow, I will be flying to Rome. This describes an action that will be in progress at a specific future time. Here's a crucial insight and a very common mistake. We do not use state verbs in continuous tenses very often. State verbs describe a state of being, not an action. They include verbs like know, believe, want, own, understand, love. You don't usually say, I am believing you. You say, I believe you. Why? Because believe is a state of mind, not an action you are actively performing at this moment. You can't be in the process of believing. You either do or you don't. This distinction between action and state verbs is a game changer for natural accuracy. Let me give you a practical data point. In spoken English, we constantly use the present continuous to talk about future arrangements, especially with a specified time. I am meeting Sarah for coffee at 3. This sounds more natural and planned than the simple future, I will meet. It implies a diary entry, a fixed plan. So, when you have a solid plan, use the present continuous for future meaning. It's a subtle but powerful way to sound more fluent. So now you have two powerful tools. The simple aspect for facts, habits, and completed actions, and the continuous aspect for scenes in progress. Combine them, and you can tell rich, layered stories about time. Next, we'll combine these with the perfect aspect we learned earlier, creating the most sophisticated tenses in English, the perfect continuous. Don't worry. By building block by block, it will become perfectly clear. So, we've mastered the simple and the continuous. Now, let's combine them with the perfect aspect to create one of the most expressive and often intimidating tools in English, the perfect continuous tenses. Don't let the name scare you. If the present perfect connects the past to the present and the continuous shows an ongoing scene, then the present perfect continuous is the ultimate tool for talking about an action that started in the past, has been continuing, and may even be finishing right now. The formula looks long, but it's logical. Have slash has plus been plus the present participle, ing form. I have been waiting. She has been working. They have been studying. We use this tense for two main powerful reasons. First, to emphasize the duration of an activity that started in the past and is either still happening or has just very recently stopped. I have been working on this project for 6 hours straight. This highlights the length of time and the ongoing effort. The second reason is to explain a visible present result of that recent activity. Why are your eyes red? I have been crying. Or, he is tired because he has been running. Here is the critical distinction that will elevate your precision. Compare these two sentences. I have painted the room. Present perfect simple. I have been painting the room. Present perfect continuous. The first sentence focuses on the completion of the task. The room is finished. The job is done. The second sentence focuses on the activity itself, the process. It doesn't tell us if the room is finished. It tells us that painting has been my recent activity. Maybe I'm covered in paint, and the room is only half done. The simple version is about the result. The continuous version is about the action leading up to now. A crucial data point, we often use this tense with time expressions like for, since, all day, recently, and lately. She has been learning French for 2 years. It has been raining since morning. These phrases are your clues that the perfect continuous is likely the right choice to express that unbroken duration. One common trap. Remember our state verbs? We generally do not use them in continuous forms. This holds true here. You wouldn't say, I have been knowing him for years. It's incorrect. You must say, I have known him for years. Use the present perfect simple for states, even with duration. This is a subtle but vital rule that native speakers never break. Mastering the present perfect continuous allows you to narrate your life with vivid, dynamic detail. You're not just stating facts. You're conveying the ongoing journey, the recent effort, the tangible evidence of an action. It brings your stories to life. Now, let's step fully into the past and explore a tense that helps us clarify the order of events. The past perfect. Now, let's journey deeper into the past. We've handled actions connected to the present, but what about when we need to navigate between two different points in the past? How do we make it crystal clear which event happened first? Enter the past perfect, your essential tool for chronological clarity. Think of it as the time machine that takes you back to the past before the past. The structure is straightforward. Had plus the past participle. I had finished. She had already left. They had never seen it before. We use this tense when we are talking about two past events, and we need to show that one was completed before the other one happened. The earlier event gets the past perfect. The more recent event is usually in the simple past. When I arrived at the party, Sarah had already gone home. Which happened first? Sarah going home. Then my arrival. My arrival is in simple past. The earlier action is in past perfect. Here's a pro tip that will clean up your storytelling. Often, you can use words like before or after to indicate the sequence, which sometimes makes the past perfect optional. But when you want to emphasize the sequence or the cause and effect relationship strongly, the past perfect is your best friend. Compare. She left before I arrived. Both in simple past. Sequence clear from before. Now with emphasis. I was too late. She had left. The second sentence uses past perfect to slam home the point that her departure was a completed event before my state of being late. Let me give you a crucial data point. In spoken English, native speakers often simplify and use the simple past even when the past perfect might be technically correct, especially when words like before or after make the sequence obvious. However, in formal writing, exams, and when clarity is paramount, using the past perfect correctly marks you as a precise and skilled user of the language. It's a powerful sign of your grammatical command. Beware of the most common trap: overusing it. You do not need the past perfect just because you're talking about the past. You only need it when you are specifically setting one past event earlier than another past event. If you're just listing past events in order, the simple past is perfect. I woke up, brushed my teeth, and had breakfast. All simple past because the order is the order of the sentence. Mastering the past perfect allows you to tell layered, sophisticated stories. You can build suspense, explain causes, and create a clear timeline in your listener's mind. It's the difference between saying, "I ate because I was hungry," and "I ate because I hadn't had food all day." The second one provides the deep, compelling reason. Now, let's bring the continuous aspect into this past landscape with the past perfect continuous. Let's take the concept of duration and plant it firmly in the past. We've seen how the present perfect continuous describes an action leading up to the present. Now, imagine you need to describe an action that was ongoing in the past, leading up to another specific point in the past. That is the precise, powerful role of the past perfect continuous. It's the ultimate tool for setting a prolonged background scene before a past event. The structure builds logically on what we know. Had been plus the present participle, ing form. I had been waiting. She had been working. They had been traveling. We use this tense to emphasize the duration of an action that was in progress before another past action or time. It often explains the cause of a past state or event. He was tired because he had been running. The running, past perfect continuous, happened over a period before the moment he felt tired, simple past. The ground was wet because it had been raining all morning. Here is the critical distinction to master. Compare the past perfect simple and the past perfect continuous, much like we did with the present forms. When she finally arrived, I had waited for 2 hours. Past perfect simple. This focuses on the completion of the action. The 2 hours of waiting were fully over at the point of her arrival. Now, when she finally arrived, I had been waiting for 2 hours. Past perfect continuous. This emphasizes the ongoing activity of waiting throughout that period. It makes you feel the length and the ongoing nature of my wait. The simple version states the fact. The continuous version paints the scene. A vital data point and common trap. Just like with all continuous forms, we avoid using state verbs here. You would not say, "I had been knowing him." It's incorrect. You must use the past perfect simple for states. I had known him for years before we became friends. This rule is consistent and non-negotiable for natural English. Why does this matter? Using the past perfect continuous adds a layer of depth and causality to your past narratives. It allows you to answer the implicit why. In a situation, someone asks, "Why were your eyes so red?" You could say, "I cried." Simple past. But a more vivid, explanatory answer is, "I had been crying." It connects the prolonged activity directly to the visible result in the past. It's a small change that makes your storytelling infinitely more compelling and precise. With the past now fully mapped, from the simple to the perfect continuous, we have mastered time traveling backwards. But what about looking forward? It's time to shift our gaze to the future, where we have more flexibility and nuance than you might think. Let's explore the many ways we talk about what is yet to come. And here we are. You've journeyed from the fundamental building blocks of parts of speech, through the intricate time travel of tenses, navigated the worlds of conditionals and the subjunctive, and arrived at the powerful nuances of advanced sentence structures. If you feel like you've absorbed a vast landscape of knowledge, that's because you have. But remember this final, crucial piece of wisdom. Grammar is not a trophy to be polished and placed on a shelf. It is a living, breathing muscle. The mastery comes not from passive knowing, but from active, consistent use. My most important advice to you now is this: integrate this knowledge into your daily life. Don't let it sit dormant. When you read a news article, pause for a second and identify a relative clause. When you listen to a song, notice the tense being used. As you write an email, consciously choose the active voice for clarity or the passive for tact. This constant, low-level engagement is what transforms rules from memory into instinct. It's the repetition that builds fluency. Think of this not as an ending, but as a magnificent beginning. You now possess the complete map. You understand how the pieces fit together to create meaning, emphasis, and subtlety. With this map in hand, you are now free to explore the vast and beautiful territories of English expression with confidence. You can analyze complex texts, craft persuasive arguments, write moving stories, and engage in conversations knowing you have the structural tools to support your ideas. It has been my genuine privilege to guide you through this comprehensive course. To see your dedication in following along to this very end is incredibly inspiring. Language is a bridge to new connections, new opportunities, and new understandings. You have now fortified that bridge with the strongest possible materials. So go forth, write that novel, ace that exam, nail that presentation, have that deep conversation, make mistakes, learn from them, and keep building. You are no longer someone who hopes their grammar is correct. You are someone who knows how to make it correct. You have done the work. You own this skill. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and you, my friend, have just sprinted a magnificent marathon. Thank you for allowing me to be your guide. Now go and use your voice. The world is listening.